My name is Benedict Yiyugsah. I work as a research officer with the CDD Ghana. CDD Ghana is the Ghana Center for Democratic Development. It's a research-based and policy-oriented think tank that was created in 1998 to promote good democratic governance in Ghana and the rest of the sub-Saharan African continent. CDD Ghana, as I said, sprang up in reaction to the early 80s, the late 80s and early 90s when there were military governments in the sub-region. It basically sprang up to conduct research, inform policy in order to advance the cause of moving Ghana and most other West African countries into areas of multi-level governance. A partnership, in my opinion, is a strategic relationship where parties that are involved in the partnership agree to collaborate in order to further or advance their mutual interests. And these are based on trust, respect, mutual understanding, and obligations. In my opinion, following the often described lost decades of the 80s and 90s, I think most people still have the misconception that Africa is backwards, taking into consideration issues of conflicts, diseases, famines, and all those things. But I think that these issues are not limited to Africa. They are also found on other continents. So following that, I think that people still have that misconception. But I think that we should begin to advance the cause of Africa by building upon the talents we have on the continent, by harnessing the resources we have in order to address some of these challenges that we face. Some of these talents and resources that we have are resources that are not found on other continents. So if we are blessed to have such resources, I think it's only proper that we begin to work to harness them to address the problems we face. I think just based on what I've said, I think it's important now to begin to pool our talents together as a continent, to begin to put our resources together as a continent to address the challenges of malnutrition, to address the challenges of conflicts, to address the challenges of illiteracy. I think the Southern Voices provide a platform for Africans, scholars in Africa, to aggregate their opinions, their views on subjects that are most important to Africa's development. Most of the times you find that, the policy agenda of the northern governments are hardly influenced by thoughts and opinions from the South. They are mostly based on shared opinions between the northern governments and the southern governments. So by providing a platform in the form of the Southern Voices, I think it creates an alternative view on the perspectives on Africa. It also creates the opportunity for Africans, especially civil society in Africa, to put together and volunteer information on alternative policies and arrangements that can be considered by northern governments on the agenda for agenda making in order to advance the cause of development on the continent. For me, Southern Voices represent a platform in which I can easily connect with a brother, a sister, an organization in another part of Africa. This is something that was non-existent before the inception of this platform. People did things on their own will and volition, but through this platform, we are able to work together to identify our common objectives. We are able to work together to fashion out homegrown solutions in order to counter the misconception that is being often put out there by the media concerning the fact that Africa is backward, Africa is still in the lost decade. So I think the platform is a wonderful one for us to begin to collaborate amongst ourselves, synergize our activities, pool our resources together in order to foster the growth of the continent.